Alright, so I still gotta do... E4, right? Yes. Yeah, this is quite the letdown, not gonna lie. I like that there are some difficult fights, but I don't know why it's so unbalanced. Most of the fights are enemies we've already fought and are free, and then randomly it's like, here's this new enemy that's way harder. Yeah, great idea, but what the heck is this balance? Kind of ruins the whole point of it when there's like 2 or 3 super difficult fights and the rest are easy. And I don't mean easy as in like, oh, I'm just built for this fight or something. Like, no, these are like enemies we fought earlier in the game and they're not stronger. They're like straight up easy. And then that guy was a fully new fight. It's weird. It's like they had the idea and then they were like, we only want to make 2 new enemies for this. Just copy the rest. Not only that, but we get to fight these easy fights 7 times. Yo, how's it going, Castle? Happy birthday. Feels birthday man. How's it going, Tycros? At least I get the rewards for the hunts every time. Well, that's kind of neat. I have been amazing. It's been such an amazing 2 months. Psychros, I'm gonna give this up to Castle for the 40 months. This fight's weird. They're like weak against fire, but then randomly absorb fire. And I don't really understand why. Like they're... Or maybe they're just... immune to magic? I don't get it. Right. That would be a nice thing for them to put in here. You know, the thing that's supposed to give me information. Well, no. Most enemies that are immune to a type of damage, it says in the thing. So when I opened it up, and it didn't say in the thing, I was like, oh, that must not be it. But it is it. So it's just confusing. And also, it usually says immune to whatever, and then when I do auto battle, it doesn't select that. But if I do auto battle against these guys, it selects fire. Well, now it's not, but it was before. It'll select fire, and then it'll be immune to it. I should probably go back to my other stuff. Don't remember what you had. Just take that. She did have the collector's thing, but I don't think it's really necessary for this area. Well, I think in that case though, it was picking it because the thingy didn't say they were immune. I mean, I could be wrong, but seems like that was the case. I know it's not always supposed to be the perfect strat, but I'm just saying, like, 99% of enemies, it'll say immune to this, and then auto battle won't pick it. But that enemy, it did not say immune to this, so it picked it. So obviously I was like, the heck, dude. Hey, can we skip this fight? Skip it before they summon? Nice. My dice. Oops. Is the Star Ocean series worth getting into? If you have PS Plus, it is. They just added like 1 million Star Ocean games to the PS Plus. And the PS Pass. Hope you have a lot of time on your hands. Yeah, I mean, why not? They're free, give them a shot. I've heard Till the End of Time is really good. And I heard the new one's good, I think. I can't really give a personal opinion because the only one I played is Till the End of Time, and I played it as a kid and it was too slow at the start, so I never got anywhere. But I will be playing them in the future. Till the End of Time's on Trophy Quest, I believe. Yeah, I've definitely heard some people in the past praise them quite a bit. Seems like most people agree that Till the End of Time is a bit slow at the start, so if you do end up playing that one, keep that in mind. And don't give up on it right away like I did as a kid. But yeah, they are quite long games, from what I've heard. get ready for a big time investment. Also, I've always loved the name of Star Ocean. Like, that's a really cool name for a game. S-tier name. That'd be a fun thing to do. Tier list of video game names. Just the names. Yo, Tomsy, thank you so much for the 16 months. Have my thoughts changed on it? Yeah, I'd say so. I definitely gained a new appreciation for the game. A lot of the issues that I had as a kid are still here, but I think I noticed a lot more of the positives this time around. Final Fantasy F tier. It was never the Final Fantasy. You know what game is F tier name? Like, maybe not F tier, but like D+ tier? BioShock. I love BioShock, but what the heck is that name? I've never, like, it just doesn't. Nothing is bio nor shock. I mean, it's just like such a default name. Like, it's really, it's easy to sell, you know, like BioShock's an easy name to remember, easy name to sell. Just sounds like a stereotypical shooter game. It's, yeah, like, it's just a, yeah, it's a sales name. But man, for how, like, unique and story-driven and stylized BioShock, and just think about BioShock in general, like, it is one of the most stylized games, taking place in a very specific era and having music from that era and, like, all of the different things that go into BioShock, and it just has the name BioShock. Like, it doesn't doesn't give you any sense of, like, the old-timey style of it, or the, like, political economics that go into the story, and, like, all, like, just sounds like a stereotypical shooter game. Especially when you get to, like, BioShock Infinite. Like, take away BioShock 1 and 2 and just look at BioShock Infinite, and it's like, what is BioShock about it? Like, there's not even, just doesn't even seem to fit at all. That's why I said, like, it's not F tier, because it's still, like, a cool sounding name, and it definitely sells copies of the game, but just doesn't give you any of the sense of, like, the style of BioShock. Call of Duty. I always thought Medal of Honor had such a cooler name than Call of Duty. Uh-oh. Hit the one that's summoning. Oh god, he's immune. That's a problem. Oh, great. Of course, it's a Tomberry. I mean, maybe that was part of the idea, was like, make it sound like a stereotypical shooter, and then you play it and it's anything but, you know? I mean, Call of Duty is okay though until you get into the newer ones, and then it's just hilarious. We got Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. There's so many different Modern Warfares. I went through a list of all the Call of Duty games on stream, and I think some people like blacked out halfway through. Really? I figured this was like always what he summoned or something for this special fight. Maybe these guys just always summon something really strong, but it can be anything. Either way, he's getting blasted, so. Modern Warfare 2 is both the 6th and 19th version of the game. True. It was pretty easy. I agree with Lightning. 20-sided die. Roll my dice. Very rarely nullifies damage of any given type. I mean... it's not the worst thing ever. I'm a little worried that very rarely means I never see it once. But trying to think of other bad video game names. Grand Theft Auto is like super memorable now, but I feel like the very first Grand Theft Auto, that was like such a default name. But it's very catchy. It rolls off the tongue. Grand Theft Auto. It does accurately describe the game. I was going one in black. I always liked Little Big Planet. It's a cool name. Although I never could figure out if it was like one word, 2 words, or 3 words. Is it Little Big Planet, or Little Big Planet, or Little Big Planet? Or Little Big Planet? I feel like Legend of Zelda stopped making sense very quickly. Like at first it made sense, but now it's like, how is any of this The Legend of Zelda? You know, like... Even if Zelda's in it. Like, it's not her legend. She might be around. I mean... But, like... It's not about her. I think I need the other one, right? I mean, I don't need the other one. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this, because I hate the B1 fight. Should be called The Legends of Zelda, given how many different timelines and crap there are. Yeah, we gotta talk about this now while RJP isn't here. Never fully played a Zelda game, but I've been thinking about playing Breath of the Wild just to understand the lines people draw about what is and is not considered open world. Well, what? Breath of the Wild is just open world, like, there's no argument on that, so I wouldn't... That's not really going to change your opinion on it. Like, it's just straight open world. No one's arguing Breath of the Wild is an open world. I would play a game that's sort of open world and sort of not, like Final Fantasy XIII.
That was a stretch.
How's it going out? Wind Waker, yeah. Open world on rails, yeah. Yeah, no, that would be a good one to play, where it's like kind of open world, but also kind of not. It's like story-driven open world. It's probably like the best way to describe it. I don't even know much about Wind Waker, but I know like the general how it plays. And yeah, it's like story-driven open world. Kind of reminds me of Okami in a way. But Okami's not as open as Wind Waker. But it kind of just has big sprawling areas and then tells you exactly where to go, but you can choose not to. And just explore. Oh, well, yeah, you're not going to get that answer by playing Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild is just a straight-up open-world game. I get what you're saying, though. I mean... I guess that is an interesting question. Is the original Legend of Zelda open world? I feel like the game industry just wasn't at a point where open world was even a thought, so no one called it that. But looking back on it now, like, there's an argument to be made. it is an open world, and you can do the dungeons out of order, and you can just go around and explore and find things. Like all the general tropes of open world games are in the original Zelda. But like open world games weren't really like that term just wasn't a thing yet, so no one would have called it that. It was just an adventure game. There's a fine line between adventure game and open world, and that line is not really specifically written down in ink. Oh look, RJP's here. Legend of Zelda sucks. Not open world, bad. No, like I would not call Ocarina of Time an open world game. It's an adventure game. Open world is almost like there needs to be an amount of like I don't know. What do I say is the difference between an adventure game and an open world game? I wanted to say it was like there has to be incentive to just walk around, like just explore a giant area, but there is in Ocarina of Time, so like that's not it.
Thanks.
I think the problem is adventure game. I think that's the term that, because like I think everything used to be called an adventure game at one point, but now there's more subsets of adventure game. I think adventure game is kind of an overloaded term at this point. You really think there's that little to do in Ocarina of Time, though? What about Majora's Mask? Is Majora's Mask an open world game? Almost by design of how you beat that game, it's kind of an open world game. When you think about it, with the whole time thing. Like, the whole idea of the game is to just explore the world and try to figure out how to stop the meteor, the moon. So in a way, like, the general concept of the game is an open world game. In the open world, okay, I see what you're saying. So is the difference between an adventure game and an open world game the fact that, like, there's zones? An open world game needs to, like, you need to be able to spawn into a map and be able to walk to the end of the game. Basically. Maybe you can't activate the end of the game yet, but you need to at least be able to walk over there. So something like Elden Ring, you can walk all the way to the tree right when the game starts, but you can't finish it, but you can walk to the tree. So that makes it an open world game. Well, Horizon, other than unlocking the next part of the world, you can walk to the end of an area, you just can't leave yet. But you can walk all the way around the world pretty early.
That was a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Breath of the Wild is definitely on the end of the spectrum. It is like the most open world game. I don't know, however, what's on the other end of the spectrum. Like if we were to make a bar, adventure game, open world game, I would put Breath of the Wild like at the end of open world game. But what goes at the end of adventure game, where it's like the most linear adventure game that's still an adventure game, and then how does everything else drop in between? You know, like where does Ocarina of Time land on this list, on this bar? Is it to the right of the middle or to the left of the middle? Would you call it an adventure game or an open world game? I would call it an adventure game, but I don't really know how to clarify that it's definitely an adventure game and not an open world game. But I do kind of like what you said about you have to be able to like spawn in a big world and be able to just walk to the end and like be in the end game right away and be anywhere you want right away. Even if the actual mission structure is linear, you need to be able to explore the whole world pretty much right off the bat. Which, saying that, you know, if we're all in agreement that that's the difference between an adventure game and an open world game, then the original Legend of Zelda is an open world game. By that definition, I think we actually have to like retroactively say that the original Legend of Zelda is an open world game, because you truly can just walk anywhere in the original Legend of Zelda. And you can go to any dungeon, and you can go to any, you know what I mean? So it's kind of weird to think that, but just because back then open world games didn't really exist, but I honestly think it is. I can't make an argument against it. You know. It has item-based progression, yes, but that doesn't make it not open world. That would be a silly argument to try to make. That any game with item progression is an open world, because then that cuts out a lot of games that are very obviously open world. What the? They have little flowers. That's really cool to think, because, like you guys are saying, Breath of the Wild was inspired by the original Legend of Zelda. They wanted to make it like the original Zelda again. So that goes to show you, like, yeah, it was open world back then, it's open world now. It's kind of cool to think. I ain't fighting him if I don't have to. This area is already repetitive enough. You know what I don't understand? What the term action adventure means. Because they do that, they pull that a lot at like the Game Awards, and I'm like, what the heck is an action adventure? It's action or adventure, or both, but like action adventure shouldn't be a separate category. Doesn't make any sense. Like, a lot of games are action adventure, but I wouldn't like give an award for the best action adventure game. I would give an award for the best adventure game and an award for the best action game. And games might fit into both categories, but like, you know, those are two separate. That's like giving an award for like the best puzzle music game, and then Tetris Effect wins. Like, no, Tetris Effect is a music and puzzle game. It's not, we don't need a category for like both. There's not enough games that are like specifically action adventure. Maybe there are, I mean, but I never understood. Maybe like back before more just straight action games were made, but I always just feel like whatever wins that category could have just won another category. Is that what it is? We're trying to like separate point and click games? Is that why we need an action adventure category? But point and click games aren't really popular anymore. When's the last time a point and click game won anything? Usually simulator games are like in other categories. Adventure. I don't know. All the categories are kind of weird because games kind of take up too many genres at this point. Another thing, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. The definition of indie game is very strange now. Because it used to be you had the big developers, the big publishers, and then you had Minecraft. It was like very easily distinguishable what was made by like one guy and what was made by EA. But now the indie scene has gotten so big because indie games are good and AAA games blow half the time that some games it's really difficult to discern if it's an indie game or not. You have a team of like 40 people working on a game and it's published by a big studio, but it was like a passion project of one guy and it started as a team of like 5. Is that an indie game? You have like a Kickstarter by a group of like 10 people, and then the Kickstarter gets so big that like Activision picks it up and then adds like 30 people to the team. Is it an indie game? Like, it's so like hard to discern anymore. But see, that's the problem, is like a lot of games that everyone here would agree is an indie game gets published by big companies now, because big companies see dollar signs in indie games, and it's a lot easier for indie games to be put on like Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, on the Switch, if it's published by a big publisher. So a lot of small games that are very obviously small get published by like Microsoft. So can't just discern it by the publisher. But a lot of times that can work, but not always. A lot of times it comes down to just like the spirit of the game, you know? Being something that a AAA company would never make, you know? Something that's risky, something that is not meant for the general, that's probably not a good way to put it, but like something extremely stylized that isn't just going to sit on a store shelf at GameStop and everyone's going to go buy it. Yeah, they're trying their best not to make money. No, they're definitely trying to make money, but... Something like Cuphead, you know? Something that's very risky to do, something that a AAA company would not invest the money in. Something like Crypt of the Necrodancer. There's an interesting one. What was the name of the Crypt of the Necrodancer Zelda thing? Something of Hyrule. What is it? Cadence of Hyrule? Cadence of Hyrule, right? Yeah. Is that an indie game? Because, like, it was built off an indie game, but Nintendo published it and added their characters to it. And I believe helped with the development of it too, but, like, it was still developed by the people that made Crypt. It's like, what the heck do you call that? Is that like a AA plus game or something? Because it's very obviously still a small game, and it sold for like 20 bucks. It was like cheap, I think, right? That's the other thing. Does the cheapness of the game matter? Or does that like totally not count? Like Rayman Legends was like 40 bucks. Does that make it less of a AAA game? Or does price not matter at all? I think price at least, like, can discern whether or not it's a AA or AAA game, if you want to, like, use those words, but not necessarily if it's an indie game. I mean, that's a good point. The actual term indie means independent, so if it was picked up by a publisher, that just kind of automatically disqualifies it. But no one goes by those rules anymore. Like, the Game Awards don't go by those rules. But if we're being, like, facetious, then, like, yeah, technically anything that's not published by the people who developed it is not an indie game. That's true. But I think the general discourse of, like, indie versus AAA is more nuanced than that. I love this enemy. My favorite enemy.
You'll make it.
What is with these? Oh my god. Ooh, enemy. Dude, Fang still can't survive this dude after all this leveling up. She still can't survive that feeding stoop attack. That might be the strongest move in the game. Just give yourself protect, please. I can't synergist because he just spams this move.
And so it ends.
Yeah. Alright, well, time for Sentinel gameplay. See if I can survive it with this. I kind of doubt it, but... Yeah, see, I think that's where the term indie kind of changed, because like I said, it used to be very obvious when someone was indie. Almost all of them were on Steam, because you could just upload the game, you know? You just publish the game through Steam, and anyone could do it. But now, so much of the digital marketplace is the Game Pass and PS Plus and Nintendo Store, that a lot of indie developers make deals with bigger publishers to just publish their games on console. So, like, and that doesn't, I don't think that takes away the indie part of the indie game. It's just they needed help to publish it on console, because that's more complicated than putting it on Steam. So, like, I feel it's unfair to say you're no longer an indie game because you did publish your own game on Steam, you just needed help publishing it on console. You know what I mean? So, like, that doesn't automatically disqualify them in my eyes. But that's become such a, like, common thing now that... You know. But yeah. It kind of just depends on how facetious you want to be. But in terms of, like, the Game Awards and stuff, it's... You know, it's... I don't think there's any real correct way to do it. I think they're gonna get hate from both sides of the aisle regardless of what they decide is an indie game. So they kind of just have to go with what they feel is best. Yeah, I mean, you know. They gotta sell their game, right? See if he... Yeah, he definitely counters haste. That's definitely how it works. But I can do this and try to get rid of his... Ow. I can try to Saboteur him even though he counters haste. Vanille, help. Vanille, stop just standing there, help. I can also heal if you Asuna me. Vanille. Vanille. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're gaming now. That general's belt. She doesn't even have protect, and she was at half health and she survived it. Ow. I need to get some commando hits in. God, what? Are you serious with this? Where's my sentinel? You never stopped being a sentinel. What happened? Oh, not having haste blows. Feel so slow. Fang is easily surviving now, so...
Change of plan.
Dude, even if there was just like a little thing that I could hit like R2 and a little thing popped up and it was like stay close together or split up. And if you pressed one, the AI just kind of moved into their positions. That's all you need. Like, I don't need full control of my characters. I just need to be able to tell the AI to do one or the other. That would be perfect. That would be an incredible improvement. Yeah, just give me some blitzball formations. Like, legitimately, just... left side, right side, normal. That would be perfect. Okay, when he spams this attack, I don't have very much fun. It's not a good time. He really put on deep protect and then immediately stooped. And she survived! That's incredible. Hopefully that's enough.
Stay calm. Come on then. Thanks.
Oh my god, dude. How many times is he gonna perfectly debuffer and then feeding stoop right afterwards? How's it going, Quackbeard? Just throw fire. Stop running forward. I don't know why she didn't survive that one. Wow. Oh, this fight. Should be so easy, but somehow it's not. Somehow it just always goes bad. Not really super boss, just a post-game enemy. Just a post-game hunt.
Keep the enemy off balance. Come on then.
Oh, we just barely saved her.
Time for another approach.
How in the world did I lose my... I gotta make sure I do this and not the other one. I need a commando. Alright, so... I guess it's always 3 spins and then the poison spit and then feeding stoop. So if I just time my Asunas that way, it should be fine. And realize that he was looping. I didn't realize that it was a loop because before I was casting haste and that takes him out of his loop because he counters it. But yeah, if you don't use haste, he loops. Or yeah, definitely. Can you not? I literally never lost my sentinel. I don't know how
So it ends.
he was not provoked. Thanks, Quackbeard. Tim just wanted to be in the credits, so he turned up for work once. Sounds like my college experience. The group project. Classic.
Change of plan.
Neil, stop taking hits. Yes, use Asuna on the dead body. That'll help. Hurry up.
Time for another approach. Come on then. Just get.
Are there any great Final Fantasy VII mysteries remaining? Yeah, why people keep telling me that the chest in Calm is openable. That's a mystery I'll never solve. What's up, Mav? It is if you dream hard enough. Why people keep commenting on my wrong warp video saying that they did it when they were a kid? That's a mystery I'll never solve. Oops.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yo, solid. Well, I'm surviving, but I can't stagger him. It takes me too long to heal.
Just getting started.
Everything's a passionate discussion in the Final Fantasy VII community.
You'll make it.
Why? Why is there... I even want to know. The same discussion we had like 2 years ago. People are finally realizing how bad the port is. I mean, I'm glad, but can't say I didn't say this was gonna happen.
Thanks.
That's frustrating. Frustrating that I made that argument 2 years ago, and now they're finally like, oh yeah. After most people have quit. Although it seems like lately things have been kicking up again, but
Come on then.
yeah, I suppose. I mean, like I said, I'm happy that people are changing their mind, but can't say it's not at least a little bit frustrating. We all could have come together and run the game together, and could have been super competitive and awesome, and instead, like, everyone quit because we couldn't agree on something that seemed pretty obvious to me. Ow. Well, this is a problem. Please help. Okay.
It's so intense.
Alright, one more try and then we'll lunch. I mean, is it for sure legal? Like, did we make the decision?
Keep a cool head.
Or are we gonna have another vote where a bunch of people that don't run the game vote no?
New strategy. Steady now. Thanks.
Well, alright then. That's exciting. Maybe we can return back to Final Fantasy VII runs. Not that I really, like, specifically quit because of that. I quit because it was time for me to quit, but I've been wanting to potentially go back, and that's kind of been stopping me, so. We'll have to see. I wonder if they'll make a separate category, because we were actually talking about that earlier. You weren't here, but we were talking about how Final Fantasy X, when they made the cutscene skip mod, they left a category for no skip mod, just for people that are purists that want to run the game like that. I wonder if they'll do the same with 7 and do a... But see, this is different because it's... The problem isn't that it's like boring or something. The problem is that it's not competitive. It's broken. It needs fixed. But you could still leave the category. I mean, we had the no capped FPS category that was obviously not competitive, but we left it there just for people to run for fun. So you could leave the no FPS fixed categories just for people to run for fun. Like, I don't see any problem with that. Oh my god, she lived. I was waiting just to revive her. How's it going, Kim? Lightning refunds. Yeah? Oh no, I did not mean to do that. Ow.
Don't give up. Thanks. Come on then.
The other thing with Final Fantasy VII is that if you want to run the game in its purest form with no mods and nothing at all, then just run the PS1 version. You know, like we have that technology. I don't know. I could sit here all day and talk about how stupid that decision was, but we've been over it. And it's not important. What's important is hopefully we're going in the right direction now. Especially with 100% getting more popular. That will be really nice, because FPS probably makes an insane difference in that category. Dude, how did I drop it again? Yeah, and isn't that the purest way to play the game? Everyone just being at a complete disadvantage. Isn't that such a pure way to play? Doesn't that just really make you feel like you're playing the original game? The game running like 4 FPS faster than it's supposed to? Isn't that pure? Even the argument of making it pure, I feel like, falls apart when you realize that the PC version doesn't run the game correctly.
Steady now.
It straight up is more pure to play it with a mod, when you really think about it. Given that the PC version just does not run correctly at all. It's not the way they intended for it to run. It's just stupid. The whole argument was just stupid. Revive her, please. Oh my god, what are we doing? Vanille, what are you doing? What was that? Why did it take her so long? I somehow kept chain, I don't know how. Clearly. That was the plan. So we hate speedrunners. That's how we're gonna make the game. Come on, baby. Oh, and we got the deeper attacks. Let's go. Be gone. Oh no. Oh, please, God, no. Please, no. That was so scary. If he feeding stooped there, I lost. He looked right at me. The second I got rid of my sentinel, he was like, you're looking pretty tasty. Alright, we did it. Gilgamesh Inc. My favorite store. Alright, we only have one to go, so we can eat lunch, come back, and then do the final one. Wait, I need a save point. Is there one close by? No. No, there's still way more hunts to do. This is just kind of a side area with a bunch of hunts. Still got like 15 or 20 more after that. This is definitely a big chunk of them, though. All these. There's like 14 more. Bum, bada, bum, bum, bada, bum, bum. Organics. Laden strike. Doesn't even tell me what it does. Holy crap, they're so expensive. What the heck? I don't have anywhere close to enough money for those. Actually, how about these? I almost have enough for those. I could sell something, buy this, look at it, and then reload. But for the sake of time, let's look it up. Laden Strike decreases the ATB charge rate by 70%, and Iron Strike decreases the ATB charge rate by 40%. Somebody said they suck, and that's all there really is to it. Alright. Glad they're $280,000. I cannot imagine that could ever be good. Like, I don't care how much damage they do. You can't heal, you can't buff, you can't do anything. You're just standing there to get your one attack in. Like, the ATB bar is way too important. Who cares about damage? Like, you can't survive if you are mega slow all the time. Granted, with haste, you might be able to balance it to where it's more of a normal ATB, but no, that sounds awful. Definitely not doing that. Alright, we're going to take a break. I'm going to go get lunch, and then we're going to do a double day of Final Fantasy XIII.